starting. Okay, the stream should be active. Just did. Okay. And then... Wait, can you? Okay, what about now?
Looks like it's still starting soon. Oh, nope, it swapped over. And there's audio.
Perfect. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into the stream tonight. My name is Ocarina. I am one of your casters tonight, and I'm joined by Carter tonight for the Purdue-Ohio State matchup. Right now, they're just going through bans and picks for maps. They are looks like Purdue is banning Oasis, and Ohio State is picking Lijiang. And we are going to get right into the match here.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Come from Ohio State. I got the Ohio State perspective. So Ohio State been doing pretty well in our last matches. We did unfortunately take our first loss last week in the Big Esports conference, but they were very, very close games. Ohio State, I'm really excited to see what they do this week, how they play this week. They've been a very fun team to watch so far. Very kind of give me kind of old dive aesthetics of your, like really explosive, fun playmaking. So really excited for this matchup.
Yeah, I am too. There's been a lot of really interesting changes to the game as of late, particularly with the Sombra rework. Sombra is a lot less of, stay invisible the entire time and sit in the back line and wait for a good hack, and more of that kind of divey frontline pressure, backline pressure, which has made dive actually really come back into the meta, which has been really nice to see, in my opinion. I really like that high octane play. And now that Sombra kind of fits into that category, it's made for some really interesting matchups and interactions within the game.
Yeah, definitely. I am a fan of the dive meta that the new Sombra brings with it here. As we enter game, looks like we will be on Lijiang Tower here for our first map here, a control map. There's going to be a point that the teams have to stand on, get to 100% claim, and it's a best of 3, so first to 2 here, as both teams right now kind of strategizing, figuring out what to go with here. As this first map for Lijiang, as you can see, the point is what we're above here right now. There's kind of edges to fall off of. It's a very, very tight space. A lot of teams will go to fight in the courtyard, or I can only hope for some Symmetra nonsense through the windows. But gonna see a lot of brawls out there in the courtyard, and then eventually we're on to the objective. But very exciting here, as Ohio State opting for Junker Queen. There's the Symmetra. See if they continue to stay on it. Farthy taking that Genji. Sakta Lodger on the Lucio here. Hojin with the new one, the Moira. Haven't really seen the Moira out a lot yet.
Yeah, I think that I've seen Purdue run the Sigma composition quite a bit, actually. They really like that kind of long-range poke pressure, and the Bastion has just been really, really good at going with that lately. So they're both going to meet in the middle right here. Outside, Junker Queen's going to start going right in against them. Sigma rotating around, and it looks like Ohio State's just going straight into that point. No big cooldowns out yet, except for that commanding shout. However, now the Junker Queen is isolated. Cooldowns out for both teams. Now that wall is down. Tank falls first, but the Mei falls there soon after. It's an even trade.
Yeah, Farthy finding that crucial pick on for the Mei there, as it looks like Ohio State is still looking to fight this. Emperor does find the aim in the backline there with that Tracer swap that came out here, as Lava on the Doomfist now, trying to get some work done here as Farthy finds another on the support to Tom. Swigs is the next to fall here. Emperor getting takedown after takedown. Farthy right alongside there as Sakta Lodger picking up those assists. And Ohio State really explosive first take here, and opting for the kind of aggressive tanks that Junker Queen and now this Doomfist really fitting their playstyle here. Emperor, we've seen Emperor on this Tracer a lot, can get a lot of good work done here. As now OSU fighting on their turn. Emperor finds 3 with the Pulse Bomb.
Wow, that was just a great stick right there, and a great first fight by Ohio State. Purdue only gets 13% out of that first take right there, so it's not even a lot of percentage that you get out of that. And on top of that, you only invest the Tracer all into that, making the ult economy on the side of Ohio State really, really good going into this fight, where Purdue only has one ult that they can really theoretically use.
Yeah, definitely. That Coalescence is going to come out into the Matrix there. And Purdue kind of caught in a room here with Ohio State's very, very brawl comp. And as you were talking about, Purdue's comp really wants to kind of make space there. And they had that opportunity there, and they definitely did it. But Ohio State, I mean, choosing the things like the Doomfist, like the Tracer, kind of closing that space. So we'll have to see who kind of wins in the space battle here. As Lava going really far in the backline here, looking to kind of shake things up. They are going to go even here as Emperor and Jay Koa there do trade for some, as Heartbeat is going to find the aim, kind of switching things up. Ohio State really, really playing into this brawl comp here.
Well, Ohio State really getting a lot of value really close to spawn. That was a really, really cool Doomfist spot that you don't normally see people go to. Just to get that early pressure on the supports that might want to go to that high ground there. And Ohio State in a really good position to take this map. It's now final fight territory.
Yes, definitely here, forcing those last few percentages as Lava back at it again, is going to use the Doomfist ult to get out here, is going to come smashing down, not quite going to find anything, but that's okay because Farthy has a blade, is going to find one, Lava finds another, Hojin picks up one in the back line as assist after assist comes in for Sacco Launcher. Big Blizzard comes out here for Purdue, trying to make something up, Emperor finds the aim with that Pulse Bomb, and that is a quick first map there for Ohio State, as this kind of Doomfist dive comp they put together here. It looks like it's working out for them.
Yeah, the ult economy was really just never there for Purdue the entire time. They lost that first point, and that was they lost that first fight, and that was extremely detrimental, as Ohio State was able to just really build their ults really quickly. An early Coalescence from Hojin was really, really, really important to them to be able to keep up that sustain in that second fight and make sure that if Purdue had any ults and used any ults in that second team fight, that it got 0 value. So that was just a pretty clean sweep by Ohio State, and I'm really interested to see if Purdue claps back at all in this next fight.
Yeah, definitely. Purdue swapping over to Kiriko, having a Sojourn, a Genji, and running that Junker Queen now. And I really like this kind of swap up for Purdue because they're not trying to play a different game than Ohio State. They're trying to play the same game here. And I mean, it is on a little bit different terms. You have that Junker Queen, you have that Kiriko. This is a very standard composition, and I'm excited to see what they do for it because it can lend a lot of fun combos here. As looking to kind of get an interest, Ohio State going to take initial point control, but here's Lava in the backline once again, but Swigs is going to find one. Alistar finds another with the Genji. Farthy trying to get some work done, not quite able to, as Alistar is going to take them down. Lava finds one, but Lava ends up going down in the end. And that explosiveness from this new composition for Purdue is going to lend them that first point capture.
Yeah, I think that a really underrated part of the game is making those character swaps when your composition isn't working and the other team is just outdoing you in these team fights. Sometimes it's better to just kind of switch off onto the same composition they were running, or at least a similar composition, and see what you can get done on that on the matchup.
Yeah, definitely, and really working out well here for Purdue, being able to take this point map first. As Lava kind of lost in the sauce here, is going to jump back in, but has lost 2 members of their team already, though. Farthy is going to take down 1, but is doing so, as it looks like Lava does find Swigs. It is close for Ohio State, but they are definitely down in this fight here, as Purdue is going to clean this one up nicely. Ohio State just kind of backing out. Really good job there by Purdue. I mean, as I said, Lava was kind of in a rough spot, and Purdue, really good job taking advantage of Ohio State's backline not having a tank, being able to kind of pick them off and shut them down and secure a win.
Yeah, I thought that the Junker Queen got a lot of really early value out there. He comes in with the not with the Rampage, with the Commanding Shout, with that extra overhealth. Lava does get that first pick, and this is detrimental to Purdue. They do end up getting the trade onto the Lucio, but Lava is going insane right now, getting pick after pick onto Purdue's backline.
Yes, Lava here with 3 picks, jumping around a lot more, is going to try and finish this one off for a 4th there. And as you said, Lava was just going absolutely crazy there. Ohio State just trying to beat back Purdue off this point here. Purdue looking to stall a little bit, but And looking at this ult economy, Ohio State has 3 up right now, but the Junker Queen ult is almost coming up here. And while they are 1 ahead with the Blade, the Coalescence, and the Pulse Bomb is pretty quick charge, pretty easily avoidable, so definitely a very winnable fight here for Purdue. I'm really excited to see as this commanding shout comes out, what Purdue can get done here, as there's the Blade from Farthy. Finds 1. Alistar pops his own, finds another here, as it's now even between the 2. Dr. Lodger finds 1 here.
Yeah, even if Purdue gets the win on this, Ohio State does make the fight even. And honestly, Purdue winning isn't even a given. That is a pretty big pick onto the Tracer right there. However, there's still a Lucio and a Doomfist to worry about, and Doomfist with those punches keeps getting overhealth. Junker Queen is 1 HP. However, Alistar keeps cleaning up.
Yeah, I mean, Alistar really a hero there on the kill feed. I mean, getting pick after pick, and really good job with getting those Genji resets. I mean, it sounds like a really small thing, but getting just so much value out of Genji's abilities there was really crucial to winning that team fight. As an aggressive commanding shout from Purdue, aggressively taking space here, does have that Junker Queen ult, looking to use it here as Ohio State looking to return that aggression, but Lava is going to have to pop that Doomfist ult to get out as huge anti comes out here from Purdue. Is able to find 1, but it looks like Ohio State is somehow already in Purdue's backline here, wrapping around. As it looks like Hojin, the DPS Moira, is going to find 2. Emperor is going to take out Swigs here. As it looks like Purdue looking to hold on, contest at 99%. Ohio State looking to take it the extra mile, is going to cap the objective.
Yeah, Hojin really dealt a lot of damage in that mid fight, which was insane to see from that Moira to be able to deal all that damage and still be able to live through all of that. That lifesteal on the secondary fire is really important to her kit, and she was really able to help close that out for Ohio State. We're now looking in a spot where this is once again final fight territory with Purdue at 99 and Ohio State at 80. They are going to go in really early. He has the empowered punch. The early ult comes out from the Lucio and the other support ult. However, Ohio State is falling like flies. The Doomfist goes down, and all of a sudden, everyone's gone except for the Moira. Now, Ohio State has to think about touching here and just trying to recontest, but I don't think they get the opportunity. Purdue takes map 2.
Going to map 3, you love to see it here, as these 2 teams getting really competitive. And as you said, that Kitsune rush really changed the scope of things. I mean, huge support out there from Purdue. And in that position here on this map on Lijiang, I mean, it fills up the entire bridge. And like, when you have a Kitsune on a commanding shout like that, and you're just running at them, like that's a sure win team fight right there. And really well done by Purdue, stacking their abilities, perfectly executed there, as they do take back map number 2 here. As we hop on map number 3, see Emperor on the Symmetra, Farthy hovering a Reaper here. I'm all for it.
I think the Reaper is definitely something we don't see very often, but you can get so much value out of it, particularly with his ultimate, which does a ton of AoE damage really quickly.
Yeah, definitely there. Emperor once again toying with me, swapping off the Symmetra. I really want to see Sim, but it looks like here Ohio State is going to kind of take this high ground, is going to burst down here on the Purdue, as Emperor once again starting off the fight, finding 1 on the Swigs as the fight really brawls on, though Tom able to find the return on the Emperor, as it looks like Jokoa is going to find a return on the Sakta Lodger. Ohio State on the back foot after starting out off aggressive, but they do have extended point presence here. Purdue is going to hop on so that Ohio State can get that back up. Hojin trying to heal to the best they can. Lava is going to back off here. The rest from Ohio State are coming back from the spawn, though, but Swigs took out Farthy. Is it enough, though, as Emperor does find Tom here? As it looks like Jokoa getting low. Lava is going to be able to find that final pick here. Ohio State bursting back on. Swigs goes down. Ohio State finds another on to aim there, as Lava, really good job negotiating respawn timers there, perfectly waiting for Ohio State to get back and being able to retake this objective.
Yeah, and that's the power of having a Lucio in your composition right there, is that you're on the back foot right there. You're down 3 compared to Purdue's 4, and that Lucio was able to get everyone back from spawn so quickly. Now it's going to be an early ultimate out from the Moira. Tom is falling low. He has to teleport out. The aim ends up getting a pick on the other Lucio. However, it's traded out onto the Junker Queen. It's an even 4-4 right now. Farthy on the back foot, trying to get some just random poke damage out there. Out comes the ult from the Tracer, gets nothing. He's looking on the right side, waiting. He hears the Lucio, but he can't get anything done. He's going to back right up, and Purdue's going to take a little bit of space. However, they're giving up a lot of time and percentage onto this point.
Yeah, Purdue, I mean, it's already at 40%. They have to make a move here, but really good job kind of expertly moving in, avoiding getting really picked here like Ohio State was trying to force there, but are getting a little low as their ultimate spill as Emperor is found there. Swings returns huge Kitsune. Alistar using that to get a pick on the Sakta launcher there. Even though Hojin didn't return one, it looks like Lava Farthi brawling in the enemy Kitsune here. Tom is going to find Lava because of that. Farthi low, trying to buy time here, is going to be taken out by Alistar, as not even all their ults committed from Purdue. Using the 2 support ultimates, they're able to take this point.
Yeah, those are 2 very high-value ultimates out of Purdue, and you're not going to have that extra protection from those ultimates in the future. However, that is a good take. Ohio State does get up to 61%, and so you are going to be a little bit afraid going into this, because you know if they take it, you very well may be in final fight territory. However, that's an early ultimate out in Farthi with the insane Reaper ult.
Spin to win there, Farthi, walking on the objective and hitting Q. But, I mean, really, really well placed there. As much as we talk about simplifying it, I mean, really, really well done there by Farthi. Is going to claim that fight. And now, like you said, Purdue, in this kind of rough scenario, they have to fight right now. There's a lot of pressure on. As the beat comes out from Ohio State, the commanding shout cannot match. Farthi is going to take down aim. Ohio State bursting out to the enemy spawn, but a blade here coming out from Alistar is going to find Sakta Launcher, is going to find Hojin. Most supports down for Ohio State. Can Alistar save it with the blade? Is barely taken down there by Emperor. Emperor did pick up another before that as Jokoa is going to go down there, but aim picks up one on Lava. Emperor's on fire with Farthi. The DPS from Ohio State popping off at the end here. Can Purdue touch? So it looks like Farthi is going to try to prevent that, but Tom is going to take down Farthi there. Support wins the 1v1 here as Purdue rushing back, trying to make something happen, and they do. They contested time.
Oh my god, there's so much going on right now. Emperor does get the pick onto the Tracer. They're just trying to clean up Purdue, but Purdue is staying on this point. The whole goal right now is not to get a ton of kills, it is just to survive and wait for your whole team to get back, so hopefully you can capitalize on something. However, Purdue falls 1 by 1, and Ohio State is going to take map 1.
Wow, what a map 1. I mean, going to 3rd point on control point, and the closeness of games 2 and 3 is just phenomenal here. I mean, we talked about how good of a matchup this would be, and it is definitely living up to the expectations there as play the game here by Hojin. That huge coalescence in this lobby here. I mean, this perfectly depicts what Ohio State really went for on Lijiang here. Very brawl, very like just run in the room and fight them focused, and Hojin playing the backline there with that early coalescence.
Yeah, I think that Purdue in particular, they had a lot of fights in which they used their support ults very early, and that really led to a lot of pop-offs by the DPS on the side of Ohio State, because Purdue had nothing to really defend themselves against the Ohio State DPS ultimates. They really just were constantly fighting for their lives to not get picked off constantly.
Yeah, definitely. And in a sense, that can be a trade-off with kind of taking the Kiriko. Is Kitsune is usually used kind of aggressively, and in a sense you are losing, like you said, a defensive support ult just naturally. And yeah, kind of having those support ults up is really kind of tough. But I mean, Ohio State, when they dropped map number 2 there, I mean, Ohio State at times you did see ways that Purdue was kind of splitting them apart. I mean, there were plays where like Lava was getting caught out or Emperor was, and Purdue really kind of has to focus in on that. I mean, like you said, dealing with these DPS from Ohio State here. As we figure out our bans and picks for next map, it looks like it might be King's Row.
Yeah, King's Row, it's a fan favorite map. It's Overwatch 1 wise, it was most people's favorite. A lot of times you would see people running that Rhine on it. However, in the modern day, a lot of people are trying to go away from that Rhine. Instead of holding right at the choke point, they're holding more on point with something a little bit more long range, like Junker Queen, that still has that upfront pressure while still being able to poke from a little bit away. The other thing that a lot of people have been doing on this map is Ramatra. However, I wouldn't be surprised if we might even see some Doomfist coming out on here.
Yeah, definitely. There are really good angles for Doom to play. And also speaking to that Ramatra, I mean, I know for King's Row, also known as Scrims Row for those that play. I mean, I'm always scrimming on King's Row. But the kind of Rhine the Ryan Ramatra matchup, I know I've played a lot on Kings Row, and Ramatra can see a lot of potency on this map. Just the combination of how the distances fluctuate on Kings Row, and he has some really good angles. And I also really thought it was interesting you pointed out how teams are changing where they're playing, and definitely teams playing more for that high ground rather than kind of just sitting in the front there. And we'll definitely see what they come out here. And when I think range, I also think back to that Sigma, the ability to have the kind of, I guess, range shield, you could say, obviously a range basic attack, and can really be potent with making space in the such here, as it looks like we are going to, any moment now, enter Kings Row.
Here we go. Yeah, I think that Sigma, he's been particularly good at the highest levels of play, which both of these teams are playing at. And honestly, I think you hit the nail right on the head when it comes to that long-range pressure. There is a lot of poke you're able to get out of the Sigma right on this corner, in between the statue and the building, right into that choke point where the attacking team has to go through in order to even think about getting to the point. And Sigma's able to really control that with his rock, with the shield, and with his primary fire, which does a lot of AoE damage and gets him an ult really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm excited to see what these teams pull out here, as it looks like there is a Sigma there coming out from Purdue, as they are just hovering right now, but a Sigma lock-in as Lava, interestingly, on D.Va. D.Va for me, I've played D.Va. I like D.Va. I mean, I played a ton of D.Va when Far Mercy was meta, but D.Va not really the most common pick that I would really think to go towards here, but definitely an interesting one if they stay with it.
I would be curious to see, because what I've seen some people do is they pick D.Va on attack early point, and they just have a Widowmaker take a shot up there while getting defense matrixed, so that you can get a shot off without any sort of pressure. However, they are going to switch off of the D.Va onto the Junker Queen. We just got bamboozled by the normal attacking spawn. A couple shots from Widow, not going to get anything, at least not just yet. And here come the Buckeyes.
Yeah, Ohio State playing with my heart with this D.Va and Symmetra here as they do load onto the control point here. But as you said, as you're used to people playing up front, that is not happening here, as it looks like there will be a brawl in there as Jokoe is going to find the rock. Ohio State getting pumped full of damage. Huge Sigma eat there, forcing Farthy out on this Reaper, as that became very, very close quarters there. But Emperor finding a return there on swings on melee from aim to take down Emperor here. But yeah, that turning into a kind of brawl that I was not expecting from both Ohio State and Purdue.
Yeah, I think that's a really good pick right there by Ohio State, because you do get the short spawn, and now they're going to get him back faster. Ohio State charging straight into the point. The May has the early ice block out, so there goes a lot of sustain from her. Ohio State's going to start going on. They start going on to the point. They start pressuring down the Hanzo. The Hanzo's half. They can't finish up the kill. And now the Sigma has to back up because he's half HP, and Ohio State gets a tick. There's an early ultimate out from the Baptiste. There goes down the Bastion, but they trade out the tank on the other team. This fight is still even.
Yeah, a big trade there. I mean, Tom finding the pick on the Lava. Not having a tank is very for OSU. Lava trying to run back here as Purdue really looking to force OSU off, but OSU using ultimates, using that aggression to kind of force it here as the huge beat comes down from Purdue, and that should be it, as it looks like Farthy is going to go in, but not quite able to find anything with the Death Blossom swings, picks up one, picks up two, Emperor returns on aim, but isn't enough, as Alistar on the May is going to find Sock to Launcher, and a returning Lava here. Purdue, really, really well done there. I mean, as I said, Ohio State without a tank can't fight, and Purdue knows that, so holding their ground, forcing Ohio State to come into them, and strategically using the support ultimate, that beat there, to kind of cancel out the DPS, which is all Ohio State had remaining.
Yeah. Also, if you take a look at the ult economy on the top of the screen, all Ohio State has right now is a beat. Purdue has 3 ults coming online here soon. They already have 2 of them, and they're just waiting on the Baptiste ult. So Ohio State's win condition is going to have to be getting a pick early. However, Emperor does end up falling. The Lucio is 1 HP. Now, all of a sudden, you're on the back foot. However, Tom does get picked off. They do trade it out, and Purdue's going to take control, and they didn't use any of their ultimate. As soon as I said that, the Bastion uses his ultimate. I stand corrected.
I mean, Alistar showing up in the kill feed time and time again. Lava did swap onto the Orisa there, and did end up getting 2 picks there. The Orisa, I mean, really kind of a a weird character in the sense that she aggressively makes space while being a very defensive character, and kind of showcasing how that's done there, being the last one to fall. But Swigs on this Bastion found a really great flank, kind of put OSU in this precarious situation, and as the Matrix comes down here, the final fight on the point, beat comes down for OSU. OSU using that as a huge ult here coming out from both tanks. It looks like Jokoa not quite able to find anything, Lava really not quite able to find anything either, but Alistar will be the first to go down. Hojin being the support with the DPS, finding the big Sockdolager, finds another, as Jokoa finds two in return. Sockdolager returning on Swigs of support from OSU, finishing off members here of Purdue. Both Hojin and Sockdolager got every single elimination that fight there. Supports getting the finishing touches there, as OSU is going to take this first point, but they only have a couple added seconds there, taking it right at the end.
Yeah, and I think that Hojin really did a great job showing why it's miserable to play tank right now. As a support player, you can deal so much damage so quickly, and using that ultimate, he actually was able to get so much done so fast without giving Purdue a single chance to respond. Now, here comes the early Mei ult. He's not going to get a ton of value out of it. I say that, and Ohio State completely explodes. They don't even get the cart to the choke point. They're able to push forward and possibly get a stagger kill on the Lucio. He does back off, so it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But that early Mei ult forced everyone into an area where that Sigma can get a ton of value. And on top of that, you get around 30% ult charge off of that just from the amount of damage you do.
Yeah, huge play there from Purdue, holding Ohio State before the choke point. And that Mei ult, I mean, creating that kind of confusion in that room, I think really made that Mei ult kind of just right on the edge work there. As Jokoa is going to kind of hide on the back there, but OSU has a Mei ult of their own. Jokoa gets game with Valleyfield. Is a huge damage ether, building a massive shield. Emperor does find one onto the aim, but Swigs returns back onto Emperor. This fight becomes even there. Lava a little low here in the back, is going to get healed up. Jokoa takes down Hojin and the Immortality Matrix as Purdue wins another fight around this corner here, forcing Ohio State back. And are they going to go for a further wipe here? Ohio State hugging that corner, but it looks like they might go down here as both Lava and Farthy incredibly low. They were trying to live it out there, but are taken down as not only did Ohio State lose that fight, but now Ultimate Economy massively in favor of Purdue. Ohio State stuck at this choke point. I don't know how they're going to get out of this one.
Yeah, and you only have a minute left here, so it isn't really looking very good for Ohio State. However, they do have this Orisa ult coming up, and the only real way you can get around that is through a Mei wall. So if they force out that Mei wall really early, that's a win condition. However, they get 4 people up with the ultimate, force out the Sigma ult early. They do place down the window, and they use the Lucio ult early. Emperor does get an early pick onto the Bastion, and here come the Buckeyes, taking down Purdue. They do trade the Lucio out, however, the tank goes down. Ohio State is now able to push freely.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State, while it was a huge flux there from Jokoa, I mean, putting up that Mei wall, really canceling out a lot of the damage that came down there. And really, Ohio State, I've been using this word a lot, but it's just the best word I can feel to describe it, exploding through that kind of choke point, really just getting on top of Purdue and really just like making the fight an absolute mess, which Ohio State has. When that happens, they consistently win here. So fighting on their puzzle win conditions here is Emperor kind of in the back line here, looking to find one, as Jokoa is going to go low. Looks like they will be taken down here by Sockdolager. The Immortality Field comes out. Mei on top of Dragon here from Ohio State is looking like it's going to clean up that fight. Farthy finds 2, Sock finds 1. As Ohio State picking up massive eliminations there. And what I thought was kind of a doomsday scenario, Ohio State, they have very little time, but it looks like they are going to make it to the next checkpoint.
Yeah, and you use a lot of ults there, but it doesn't really matter because if you don't, you really don't get the cart there. Your Baptiste should get his ult back pretty quickly, and so that's honestly not a bad fight for Ohio State at all. Now Purdue, they have to fight their way back to this corner, see if they can halt them before they get there, but the cart is already turning around the corner. They have to retreat back a little bit, see if they can give them a little bit of space so that they can take a mile. The wall does block them off, and they aren't allowed to do what they want. The cart is almost halfway through for essentially nothing.
Ant Matrix there is going to kind of force Ohio State out, but they don't have a lot of time here. And yeah, crucially, Purdue kind of seeded this corner here. Maybe they're thinking, you know, only have a minute, we can seed, we can kind of get a better angle on Ohio State here. So Ohio State does have the high ground though. Emperor putting in a lot of work from above, takes out Jokoa. Hojin finds Tom with the Ant Matrix. Barty lobbing those icicles from the back. Lava picks up one. Emperor picks up two more here. It's Ohio State. The respawn timers are cutting it close. Purdue is going to have a last shot here, Ohio State. This is it here. 20 seconds to try and make this final push there. Emperor knifes Tom in the back line. Emperor finds another on the swigs. Big flux here, but is it enough for Purdue? The immortality field saves a couple. So it looks like Ohio State is going to clean this one up. And while they have very, very little time on the board, Ohio State, in the end, is going to push through.
Yeah, that was a fantastic final fight by Ohio State there, particularly with the early Hanzo pick, because when it's so close like that, you want as many people on the point as you possibly can as Purdue, and that just completely denies them a single person onto the point. Now you're down 4-5, and you're desperate. You start messing up, you start making mistakes. They've won the mental game off of that one singular pick. That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of mental, Ohio State, you have to feel pretty confident, at least right now, with kind of salvaging what happened there. But, I mean, it also was kind of a little, like, close. I mean, you are a little worried if you're Ohio State, and you know that you have very little time on the board, so every single second counts here on this defense, as we're going to see if the teams are going to swap it up with anything interesting here. I'm going to be careful this time not to be baited. I get excited when I see, the Sim, the Diva, but using that to either get out of spawn faster or just look at the enemy here, as it looks like Ohio State kind of staying true to what they've been running here, what they went on attack, they'll take on defense, as it looks like some interesting, I'm not going to get too excited, but some interesting hovers coming out here from Purdue. Swig swapping between that Sombra and that Reaper. Tom on the Ana here. I have seen a little bit of Ana, but definitely not as prevalent as she used to be.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to get a couple of pot shots early on, or maybe just an early grenade, and you get nothing out of it, so you just immediately switch back over to that Baptiste. And now Purdue has to make their way through the choke point and onto the point.
Yeah, I mean, really good strategy there. I mean, if you do find that anti, I mean, that can be worth a pick in itself here. And Jokoa explosively hopping on this point does get a spear to the face, but that is not going to stop them here. As it looks like all the way up top, Purdue finding the high ground. Aim up there, kind of not alone actually, with Swigs is going to wrap all the way around. Purdue finding themselves on the point. Ohio State finds themselves in the position of the attacker here, as Purdue wrapping all the way around to the point. Brilliant use of space and that Lucio boost, but Emperor is going to find Swigs, which is going to start to go in the favor of Ohio State. Hojin keeping the team healed up here, as Ohio State Emperor on that high ground. It looks like Purdue in a tough position. Jokoa is going to find one. Lava returns on Thomas. Emperor jumps into the fray. Jokoa is taken down. Ohio State going to successfully take this first hold, but Purdue got a lot of percent.
Yeah, that's honestly not a detrimental fight for Purdue because you do get 57.9% out of it. However, Emperor in particular does a fantastic job coming in with a lot of really clutch picks to try to shut down that fight before they could get even more. I mean, if he doesn't get a couple early picks there, Purdue maybe gets to 60%, maybe even two-thirds of the way through. Now he's on this high ground, and he forces out the Sigma grasp early on, and he can wrap all the way around. He almost has ultimate.
Tom, though, is going to find a crucial pick initially on the Farthi, but Farthi did get the Blizzard down. The Blizzard going to allow Hojin here, as Alistar is going to find Hojin in return. Ohio State once again in this weird position where they are standing as the attackers. Lava hugging the corner, playing time here. Sock the Lodger trying to get some work done. Ult coming out there from the Orisa, not going to find anything here as Sock running around, kind of play a DPS. Emperor looking for that 1v1. Swigs finds Sock. Tom finds Lava. Emperor in a tough spot here is going to go down. And a likely cap here. Very, very quick cap here for Purdue. And this is where time starts to become a problem for Ohio State. I mean, they're thinking they have 9.8 extra seconds, whereas almost 2 minutes of extra time already for Purdue to play with.
Yeah, and that last fight is kind of tough, especially for Emperor, because he is really about to get that pick onto the Reaper when he's teleporting into his face. However, the Mei does get that early pick onto him and to close out that fight. Reaper, right now, he's at 90% ult. He is really, really, really close to building that right there, and you might not even need it when you get that early pick. The fight is even right now, so you do want to get that quickly. You might want to let it rip, especially now that you know the Sigma use Kinetic Grasp. The shield goes down, and the Mei wall comes out. He's teleporting up top to try to take down the Hanzo, and Emperor gets the pick! What a shot. Nice focus from Emperor, and great aim.
Tom, though, going to find the return on Emperor as the fight continues on the point here. It looks like Ohio State not giving up. Alistar is going to find Farthi. It looks like Sock and Lava. I mean, these teams keep switching sides here. Sock and Lava running all the way out. Running all the way back through. Purdue here looking to kind of exit here. But Purdue, really good job making the space here. Walking forward. Giving area for that cart to move up here. As Ohio State in a precarious situation. I mean, 3 minutes of extra time if they give up this objective here.
Yeah, and I think that a really crucial part of Purdue's play right here is this May. Oh, as soon as I start talking, Ohio State starts getting a couple picks. The May does get a pick in return. However, Ohio State is up 4-1 right now. As Joka drops, now all of a sudden the May is alone. You ice block. You're about to get staggered if you don't break it. She breaks it, and now Ohio State takes control. Purdue, however, doesn't use anything other than the window. They are able to get it. Ohio State has 3 ultimates compared to Purdue's 3. It's pretty even.
Yeah, very even ultimate economy here. And, I mean, big props to Purdue. I mean, they have 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on that clock. They got a lot of space for the cart there. That aggressive kind of walking up towards that 3rd point, that's definitely something that teams really... It's a really brilliant strategy team showcase. You could get so much extra space here on Kings Row by doing things like that. As Purdue playing the high ground here, as it looks like a very kind of rough wall there from Ohio State is going to have to come down. As it looks like Swigs is going to look for it. Opposite gets rocked, but not before they take out Immortality Field, though. But the Flux comes out. Returned with a beat here. Purdue looking to fight this. The Blizzard comes out. Can Purdue find stuff from it? The aim can, taking out Hojin here. Lava looking for another here as the fight of the Sigmas will go in favor of OSU as the Blizzard from OSU is going to come in clutch here. Ohio State picking up kill after kill. Farthy recurring in that kill feed. And Blizzard versus Blizzard, it appears Ohio State's came out on top in the end.
Yeah, and if you're Purdue, that's actually a really bad fight loss. You use the same amount of ults as Ohio State, but you end up losing that. And on top of that, you only have 1 minute and 20 seconds left to push this cart the rest of the way. You maybe have 2 fights left if you go really quickly and you lose the first one. However, Ohio State, because of their sustain and because of the tank that they're playing, they can draw these fights out really, really, really long.
Yeah, definitely here as Emperor is fighting that pick on Swigs. I mean, Emperor is just finding... But Jokoa returns one here. Ohio State, there is going to be a Flux that comes down. Not a lot comes from it here. Actually, Jokoa is going to take that Immortality, which allows time to pick off Hojin here. Ohio State stuck in the main wall here. Alistair going to find one now. Ohio State without supports as Tom takes out Dorothy as well on the May. Ohio State, it is just Lava left. As Purdue, really good job here, staggering that tank to get that extra mile here as they have 2 minutes to get through this 3rd objective section. Emperor, where he always is, on the high ground here, looking for those really sick arrows to get a pick for his team. But Ohio State now having to cede that corner here, and it looks like Lava's going to come back. A lot of ground, actually. I'm surprised here. A lot of ground going over Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue does get a lot of ground off that, and they do force out the Dragon. It's going to depend on what happens after this to determine who wins the fight. Lava does get the early pick. Everything's looking up OSU. They have to get another follow-up pick, though, before Purdue decides that they can get another pick, too. Emperor finds the pick onto the Reaper, and all of a sudden, the Boilermakers are in disarray. Their comp is falling apart. The Sigma's low HP. He ends up falling. No staggers, but Purdue does end up falling.
Yeah, Purdue falling there, but, I mean, you have a minute on the clock. If I'm Purdue, I am not upset there. I mean, I got through that first kind of choke area. I almost got it really around the 2nd bend here. Really, really close to the end. I have a minute. I have probably 2 more fights. One really, really good fight that I can set up for left in me here. As they have the ultimates. I mean, they have 3 ultimates. They're close to having all 5 here. As it looks like Ohio State looking to kind of explode there. A couple of members of Purdue cut off, but Sigma able to eat all that damage as a ton of damage coming out with that grab matrix, but OSU returns the Blizzard to make space. But Jokoa is going to get caught in it. Does go down here. Lava finds 2. Farthy finds 2 more. Big Blizzard there from Farthy. Really kind of using the weird levels there within the Kings Row tunnel. I mean, Jokoa had nowhere to go, stuck in the Blizzard, but there are ultimates left up here for Purdue. You have the Flux, you have the Blizzard, you have the beat. Emperor on the flank.
Oh, that's a great ultimate out from the Lucio. I don't even think he realized what he did there to keep the Reaper alive. There are some ults coming out early. The aim gets 2, Swigs gets 1, the Hanzo's stuck behind, and now he's gonna get staggered a little bit. OSU is going to start with their respawns. You're in final fight territory here in overtime, and Purdue has to push the car all the way through. They don't have that early pickoff pressure like Ohio State does. They have the wall. They are going to try to isolate with the support pushing. Alistar gets 2. They are able to push him off, and this should be a Purdue capture. And we are going to extra stages.
Purdue taking us to extra stages there, and really, really good wall there. Alistair, I mean, cutting off Jokoa perfectly. I mean, those are the clutch May walls that really changed the game. Walling off the tank, just taking them out. What little chance OSU had of making a stop there instantly went away. And this map especially has really turned into the Battle of the Blizzards here, as both Farthy and Alistair on the May. It just seems like the fight comes down to whose Blizzard freezes more. I mean, really, really well done there by Alistair. As I said before with Farthy, really using the kind of weird elevation within King's Row to their advantage, finding multiple targets there. And Purdue, really good job saving their ultimates. When you're in that fight, when the timer's really low, you have this urge to just kind of throw everything at it. But Purdue, realizing they had another one left in them, saved their ultimates for that, and were able to stack them on top of OSU, who had nothing to return.
Yeah, I think you are 100% right with the Battle of the Blizzards. These May plays are so important. And Emperor is getting a lot of pickoffs with the Hanzo, which is something Purdue does not have with the Reaper instead of the Hanzo. However, this May is dealing so much damage early on that even if Emperor doesn't get a couple of picks with the Hanzo arrows, he can really pressure down that tank really quickly because all of his damage goes through the kinetic grasp.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Reaper May, a very tried and true composition here, and for Purdue, they've looked really successful and really kind of liking this brawl style here. It's Sigma versus Sigma action here. As I say, that swing taken down is going to cut Jojoka off here, as Lava finds Jojoka. Farthy finds Alistair. Ohio State is going to push back Purdue there for that first fight. Purdue kind of going to build back up here, but really the ultimate percentage is quite even between the two teams, even though Ohio State won. Ohio State having a little bit extra, but nothing to necessarily be super excited about here, as Purdue looking to really kind of push forward here for this final fight of theirs.
Yeah, and I think what this is really going to come down to is, can Swigs get some value off of the Reaper here? Can he get in their face early on and deal a lot of damage, or is he going to get picked off early by the Hanzo? It looks like right now he's getting in their face really early, dealing a lot of damage. Sigma goes down to 1, but he gets picked off by the Hanzo. Now Purdue, they have to stay on this point. They do end up getting a tick, which is good just in case they lose this fight. However, Emperor is going off, getting pick after pick. They do use the Sigma ultimate. They get the ice block out. Joka gets a pick, but he's going to fall soon thereafter. Purdue getting 58.7%, and that's what they're going to have to work with.
Yeah, Purdue, I mean, huge props to them for... And they did it that first stage as well, wrapping around, kind of forcing Ohio State off the objective, getting a lot of free percentage on the objective. And it's especially big in this scenario because now Ohio State has to get to 58.7. They don't just have to get that first tick, they have to get all the way there to where Purdue got. And while that seems small, when you only have 1 minute and 9 seconds, every little bit of percent counts there. So Purdue definitely squeezing out every little advantage they can. And Ohio State, as you talk about Emperor, really finding these flank angles with this Hanzo. I mean, picking off Swigs before really much can get done with the Reaper. But I'm really interested to see how that dynamic changes on defense here, as there are high grounds for Emperor to go to. But I feel like Swigs could definitely be a lot more potent on the Reaper here when you're not forced to run into their face, but kind of have some angles and alleys to play with.
Yeah, totally. I think that Purdue's win condition here is really to try to get Swigs in their face, because if he is up on top of them, the rest of the team can kind of rotate around and see if they can get a couple of angles against Emperor on the Hanzo, while the rest of the Buckeyes are worried about the Reaper in their face dealing all that damage.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see what happens here, as it looks like Ohio State is going to stick to their same composition here. Emperor going to find a little bit of info with that Sonic Arrow. Is going to come up over top here. Extremely aggressive. Going to get out here using that wall climb, using the mobility of this Hanzo perfectly here. Ohio State, I mean, they're running out of time. Really, really short boundaries here, but trying to kind of play this slow poke game, looking for something with that Hanzo here, choosing to fight Purdue up front.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good angle by Purdue's Lucio to try to get in there early. They do end up trading, however Swigs does go down. That's their win condition down, and now Emperor, he can kind of sit here freely and just kind of shoot arrows on top of them. Ohio State, it looks like they're going to clean this up unless Purdue can get a really early contest onto this to see if they can keep things going. With the Baptiste falling, I don't know if you're able to get there.
Purdue swapping over to the Diva, not quite able to make the touch there, as Ohio State will take map 2. And huge props there to Lava showing up in the kill feed a lot on this Sigma. And it's times like these, those 1 minute long contests at the end here, play of the game, going to the aim. But these 1 minute long contests where the tank is crucial in making space and getting the team on here. And I mean, huge play here from aim. I mean, we talk about the Battle of the Blizzards here, but there's also the Battle of the Beats, the two Lucios keeping their teams up. And even though Purdue did not end up winning this map, I mean, it was extremely close in aim with a very, very clutch play. They're deserving of play of the game here.
Yeah, totally. And I think that that right there, what we just saw was really an amazing performance by both Lava and Emperor in particular. I think that both of them were able to get a lot of really good long-range pressure. Long-range for Emperor and mid-range for Lava to really get those ults really quickly and get a lot of pressure in with those rocks to keep Purdue from doing what they wanted to do. Ohio State was really just good at controlling those mid-fight situations in which the Reaper is kind of in your face, but they're able to just stop focusing on him, kind of cancel out what he's doing, and just go around him and kill everyone else.
Yeah, I completely agree here. And I mean, and looking at Purdue as well, I mean, Alistair on that Mei, I mean, the Mei matchup was so fun to watch. I mean, these two Meis just kind of really going at it the whole time here, as it looks like we are going to a flashpoint. It looks like New Junk City. I've not played very much New Junk City, but what I know about Flashpoint is that Flashpoint games are just crazy. I'll just stick it with that. Flashpoint is always a crazy mode to watch.
Yeah, what I'm really interested to see in Flashpoint in particular is how they deal with those kind of in-between stages of the fight where every single person in the lobby has to go possibly across the map. And in those situations, if you get picked off, that's super detrimental because you are now in a position where even if the rest of your team gets to that point, you are already down one person and you're going into it 4 versus 5. And that's really crucial going into these fights with how chaotic it is how many people do you have being able to contribute to the chaos?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Flashpoint, I know it was the talk of how weird it is having this points opening up and transitioning, and it's basically for those who might not be more accustomed to it, it's one of the new game modes. It's a like best of 5 control essentially, where the points will move around the map. And Flashpoint's a very good term because it happens very fast. I mean, 1 or 2 fights will determine who takes a point, and they're very quick, very aggressive, and like you said, spanning the map. So a lot of movement-based abilities here. As you see, the Kiriko, Lucio's again for both teams, his movement speed boost is just so critical here. The Kiriko there for Purdue, adding to that kind of movement speed dynamic here. As Emperor on the Tracer, Farthi on the Genji, both teams having this kind of Junker Queen dive compositions they're running, really embodying the vibe and the style of Flashpoint.
Yeah, and now they're both going to meet in the middle here and attempt to go at each other early, see who can get the most ult charge, see if anyone can get some early pickoffs. It looks like Alistar's actually dealing a lot of early pressure in to the back line. However, they're just not really looking at him. They're kind of looking at everyone else. He's now able to kind of get some damage in onto the supports for free. They do end up trading out supports, a Moira for a Kiriko. However, Alistar is low HP, and Farthi with a triple kill on dash resets. Wow!
Farthi at finding 3 there, really clutch. I mean, looking at these Genjis, you know, Alistar and Farthi looking for that dash resets. Alistar just barely couldn't find it onto Sock. Sock living at 1 HP here. Farthi with a little emote action there. excited about that really amazing reset here, but it's time to fight once again. Purdue exploding back on. It looks like a beat, or a command, sorry, came out there, a commanding shout came out there, and that is going to allow Alistar to get the pick off on the Farthy, shut down the on fire OSU DPS here, as Alistar looking for more picks here. OSU forced to kind of scramble away. Pulse bomb comes out, but doesn't really find anything. OSU on the back foot here. Still trying to hold some ground. It's just like Sock flying in, looking for something. Is going to be taken out by Swigs here. So Ohio State is going to roll away.
They do get 60% though. That is the big thing with Flashpoint, is because there are 3 points on this one map, they do tick up very quickly. So Ohio State does get 60% out of that. Purdue already at 30% though, so they've met them halfway. And now you're looking to get an early Junker Queen ult, see what you can get out of it. The Lucio goes down really quickly. The Junker Queen ult comes down for Ohio State. The Genji goes down, and now they have to rotate around the point to keep Ohio State from getting there. They are still building that ult. They're 12% away. They just really need that really early. Here comes Farthy though, with the early blade, or the late blade, excuse me. Getting a bunch of kills early. Swigs trying to ult to protect the point. He doesn't get it though. And now, even though they're only at 60%, because of how fast these points tick up, Ohio State has now put Purdue in last fight territory.
Yeah, Alistar at the end picking up Blade, but only a few percentage points away from it, and if Alistar had it, they definitely would have popped it and done exactly what Farthy did, but Farthy just able to eke out the edge in the ult economy there, picking up a couple kills here. On the flank now, as an explosive start here, Alistar take it down before the blink can come out. Lava finding a crucial pick there, setting up Ohio State for a win on this first flashpoint. Farthy doing damage in the backline, trying to take down Jokoa, found by aim. In a tough position here, gonna have to dash back out. Lava finds another Lava doing all this work, but a huge anti here. Junker Queen ult, massive anti for Purdue here, as Ohio State just a messy brawl on the point now, but Hojin and Farthy are gonna find something out of it. Hojin popping off here. That's the DPS Moira. It looks like Hojin picking up another on the Alistar there. Ohio State gonna claim this first flashpoint, and that is the messiness of flashpoint I love to see.
And you see, that also really does highlight a big difference between Flashpoint and other map types, and that is, it doesn't matter how quickly you get your ultimates, it doesn't matter how much damage you deal, it matters how clutch you are in those really chaotic ends to these fights. If you can get these late pickoffs while the other team is still trying to build these ultimates, it doesn't matter what they have. If you can get those pickoffs while they're in transition and distracted, it's so crucial. Joka now does take down the Lucio, but they do end up trading. Lava takes down Alistar, gets the Mega. He's now almost back to full HP. Farthy gets an early pick. Emperor goes down, and now it's a battle of Junker Queen and Genji, and Ohio State's going to come out on top.
Lava firing the Junker Queen clips there. Another crucial fight, getting lots of elimination, and definitely bringing the reckoning there for Purdue. Really well lined up there, getting anti-heal onto many of Purdue's members there, and really kind of, the term creating space in Overwatch is huge, but creating space there with those abilities here, as Farthy has the ult, and Coalescence coming out here from both teams. It looks like here Tom and Hojin trading that. Looks like Jokoa is gonna find Sock. Jokoa finds Lava here as Farthy goes over the edge, is gonna find Alistar, looking for another here, does find Swigs as a 2-for-2 trade though. Ohio State is without a tank. Farthy 1 HP healed up barely by Ohio State supports here, looking to make something happen, but is going to be taken down. Hojin really low in the backline, trying to fade the getaway, but Jokoa returning with a Junker Queen clip of their own, taking down Ohio State. And wow, Emperor finding a couple picks here. I thought the fight was over, as it looks like Sock is going to find one on Tom. Alistar going to find a return onto Sock here, and the fight isn't even over yet here, as it looks like Ohio State is going to make it back here. Alistar finds Emperor. Lava all the way back. Lava taken by Alistar. And now Purdue finally is going to end this fight with a win, but Ohio State at 99%. Last fight territory the whole way through.
Yeah, and I really don't think we can overestimate how crucial Farthy has been for the Buckeyes here. Farthy has had play after play after play, constantly clutching up when he needs to, constantly bringing it back, and constantly doing so, usually at 1 HP.
Yeah, but Swigs with the Death Blossom is going to be able to find 2 here. Joka here is going to find one on the Sock the Lodger. Tom picking up an assist on Farthy, and huge wipe here for Purdue. And I mean, this puts Ohio State in last 5 territory. 99 versus 99 is what it's going to look like here, as alt economy pretty close to equal here. Actually, as I look again, Purdue ahead actually in the ultimate economy by quite a bit here in terms of percentage. So it looks like Purdue really looking to be explosive and aggressive here as the Junker Queens start going out here. Coalescence from Tom. It's going to find a lot of healing, but now it's going to find a lot of damage as the beat comes out to for Purdue here. 99-99, what we were talking about, Ohio State is looking to claim that Purdue gets back just in time, as it looks like trade after trade is about to go down, but everyone's living at 1 HP. Ojin, Arthi, playing on the edge. Swigs as well, healing up from that Reaper lifesteal. Who is going to go down first is a beat for OSU, and Emperor finds Swigs. Joka is low, but Tomer finds a turn on Barthy. Alistair pops the blade and finds Sock, but Lava finds one on aim. Lava finds another on Tom. Hoja with the coalescence on the Joka. Alistair on the Lava. Everyone is going down. Final brawl on the map. Emperor and Hojin are going to clutch it out, and the Buckeyes are going to take the second flashpoint.
Oh my Lanta. What a fight that was. That was probably the most chaotic fight I have ever seen on this map. Everyone was low HP that entire fight and just barely getting enough heals to sustain. And Ohio State just has that little bit of clutch factor to be able to squeak out the win on that point.
That is the brawls of Junkertown we were told about right there, as it looks like Purdue is going to come back onto this point here. The flashpoint has not even unlocked yet. This is this downtime you were talking about here, as Joka is going to find a pick, but Lava returns one on the Swigs. Farthy winning the duel of the Genjis here. Ohio State a little bit ahead, but it looks like Purdue has a lot of good ground here. Tom finds Farthy. Hoja returns on the Joka. Is it enough for Ohio State to clutch out and take this first flashpoint here? Lava takes out Tom. Hoja takes out Joka. And Ohio State claiming his initial percentage on the third flashpoint.
Wow, that was once again a really chaotic, really fast-paced fight. And I really think that Ohio State is just doing a great job clutching all this, clutching all these fights towards the end. When everyone is low HP, they just have that little bit more to get them through. Now, when early ult comes out from the Junker Queen, they're even right now. But Ohio State getting an extra pick. No, Purdue evens it out. All they can do right now is sit there and pray. Purdue coming in with a couple of ultimates to get them through.
Swigs 1 HP looking to maybe heal off, as it looks like Emperor is going to finish off Joka there. Ohio State barely holding on once again. These teams really brawling it out as so it looks like AIM is going to look to duel Emperor. Emperor taking that one there, as it looks like now it is Alistar's turn. Emperor winning again there, but getting support from Hojin and Sok in the end. But Emperor surviving 2 attempts on their life here, as Ohio State at 99% here. This is final fight for final map territory. Purdue finds the touch here. This is everything on the line here for Purdue, as a rampage comes out from Joka. Swigs finds Farthy, as a beat comes out on the side of Ohio State to counteract that rampage. Swigs is low, but is healing back up. Swigs has the death blossom, as a beat comes out now from the side of Purdue. Purdue forcing back Ohio State. Joka finds Hojin. Alistair finds Sok. This is do or die now for Purdue. They have to win this fight to continue in the game, as it looks like Joka is going to take out Lava. Emperor finds Tom, but it's not enough. Joka finds Emperor, and Purdue claims the flashpoint just on the edge here. 99% on the side of Ohio State. Purdue has to not let them take a single tick.
Yeah, and I know I've said this the entire time, but we really cannot underestimate Ohio State's DPS. They have been clutching this non-stop the entire time, dealing tons of damage, getting really quick picks, and forcing Purdue into positions they don't want to be in. And now, here come the Buckeyes straight onto the point. Purdue has to respond because they can't give up a single thing. Swigs using the Death Blossom and gets nothing out of it, and now all of a sudden, they have to trade. They're even. Farthy going down. However, Purdue is down a support. Tom goes down, Swigs goes down, and it's disastrous for the Boilermakers. Here comes Alistar, a desperation ultimate at best, but there's really nothing he can do. The Buckeyes take down the Purdue Boilermakers.
Maybe.
Unless the AIM can pull out a 5K on the Lucio. Now the Buckeyes take down the Boilermakers 3-0.
Really well done here, and congratulations to Ohio State for the 3-0 win. And though I do have to say that 3-0 is quite deceptive here, this matchup had insanely close maps, insanely close brawls as they play the game here from Parthy. This massive blade really just changing everything here. Parthy on the Genji, an absolute menace on this map, taking over multiple fights just time after time again, filling up the kill feed here. Ohio State, I mean, just being able to really clutch it at the end there. All these % versus 99%, but well done to both teams.
Yeah, I really think that Ohio State deserved that win. They really did a fantastic job towards the end, in particular of winning out those fights in situations where they didn't necessarily have to. In particular, the Tracer 3K at the end when the Tracer was the only one alive. I do agree with you. The 3-0 does have a little asterisk next to it. It was much closer than the score dictates. Every single map came down to the wire except for that last one. I really think both teams did a fantastic job, and I really enjoyed watching this match today.
Yeah, I'm excited. If these two teams ever face again, I'll definitely. And I'm excited to see more from both of them.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This has been the Purdue University versus Ohio State Overwatch match. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Ocarina, and that is Carter, and I hope you all have a fantastic night.
See ya.